Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive in to this tweet here from Metaco. So I seen this earlier yesterday, and we do see weekend vibes, NASDAQ, Ripple, and Metaco. We have NASDAQ basically congratulating Ripple on their acquisition of Metaco, which is a very large it's a very large announcement. We talked about it quite a bit. And then I also did see Cowboy Crypto post the CoinMarketCap article, which I will talk to you guys a little bit about that here in a second. But then a lot of people started speculating on if this was fake, which I thought was kind of crazy considering the fact that like we have NASDAQ and Ripple being tagged in this tweet. And this is from the actual Metaco Twitter. We also seen Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple both like this tweet, which I think is like, people calling this fake is just wild to me, and it does prove just how many haters there are outside of the Ripple, box, if you will. I think that a lot of people are sitting here speculating and hating on Ripple and XRP all day long, trying to make up their own idea around it. I just think that it's stupid. It doesn't really take a lot to look into these things and understand that this is not fake. It's real. And why wouldn't it be real? This was a $250 million acquisition, and it's a huge one. And we do know that NASDAQ is also launching a crypto custody service by the end of Q2. I've been following this one for a little bit of time because I think that this is actually a big deal. I've talked about it a little bit in the past. It's right on par with what Ripple does want to do with Metaco. Ripple obviously wants to be a crypto infrastructure for the future because they understand how large crypto will play in terms of the evolution of finance and also finance solutions. But this did get a lot of people speculating on the IPO. We do see over here from CoinMarketCap, NASDAQ lauds Ripple Metaco acquisition is future IPO cooking. And this was a major article, and we do see, understandably, Ripple Labs is a financial technology company that is using blockchain technology to disrupt the payments ecosystem. With NASDAQ's deep affiliation to tech-based companies, the recognition of the deal might be in order. Over the past few years, Ripple has been contemplating going public through the initial public offering IPO route. The ongoing legal brawl between the firm and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has notably hidden the conversation surrounding these plans in recent times. The NASDAQ recognition of its latest business stride may be an advertisement for Ripple to consider its bourse should the latter finally decide to go public. Now, does this have anything to do with Ripple going live in terms of like an IPO? Is there anything going on with the case? We have no idea. One thing that I would love to know around all of this is the fact that Ripple could have paid for this. We don't know if it was a payment. We don't know what's going on. We know that Ripple has a large campaign going on around crypto means business. That was a huge campaign that we focused on for so long. And I think that the Metaco acquisition actually is Ripple, kind of streamlining their way into the institutional area even more. You gotta know that like Ripple has been involved in the institutional space for so long, going all the way back to, I mean, the inception essentially of Ripple, even with the XRP ledger and XRP itself. Like institutions have loved what Ripple has been doing around, crypto and around payments and things like that. So who knows what this really means? It could just be nothing. It could just be a congratulations from, NASDAQ. But I did also speculate a little bit on this. I said, not saying that a settlement is happening, but the recent NASDAQ congratulation towards Metaco and Ripple got me thinking. Ripple stated that they will explore an IPO after the SEC case ends. Are they preparing for a settlement or a win? I believe someone stated they can't IPO if they lose, but I might be wrong. Now, again, it got me thinking, and hey, thinking is healthy, but we shouldn't say like, hey, I think that Ripple is about to IPO and I think that the case is about to end. No, but we do know that that was their overall idea anyways, going all the way back to May of 2022. We do see crypto firm Ripple will explore IPO after SEC lawsuit ends. Ripple will explore the possibility of an initial public offering, which I think will be huge. I cannot wait. I hope that they do this because, it's going to be very large. I think that the only way to invest into Ripple is through Link2, and I really haven't looked into it in a while, but I do know recently there has been a few things around it. But you see, once its lawsuit with the US SEC has ended, CEO Brad Garlinghouse told CNBC, the SEC alleges Ripple, Garlinghouse, and executive chairman Chris Larsen engaged in illegal securities offering through sales of XRP. Garlinghouse's comments come amid a cryptocurrency price crash that has wiped billions of dollars of value off the market. which you gotta love CNBC fear mongering around that. But yeah, I do think that Ripple has a lot of plans. I think that the SEC case has held a few things, behind. One of the main things is the US expansion of on-demand liquidity as well as Ripple services. I think that, things are starting to brew a little bit around the case. I don't really care when this case ends. I really don't really, I gotta say, like, I don't care about the case itself. I know that a lot of people have, told me like the case is crucial, and I think that it is, but we don't know when this case is gonna end. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not into the, law area. So, to me, I kind of keep a close eye on what Johnny Deaton is saying, Jeremy Hogan, and a few other individuals. But for the most part, all eyes are on the judge and what the judge does next. Until then, it's all kind of noise. We could speculate all day around this case ending. We could speculate, when this case is going to end. But for the most part, nobody knows. But also, there's been a few discussions over on Twitter as well around the private ledger and what Ripple is doing with XRP with CBDCs and things like that. What do you see over here from Crypto Airy? The private ledger correction / removal was made by Ripple on the 2023 value report. Also removed was the number of participants in the POC along with its live. Thanks again, Anthony Welfare with a T. And here we have Ripple is working with the Republic of Palau on a pilot of a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, as that is the currency they use, leveraging blockchain technology. Over here, with sustainability as a guiding principle, they chose to build their stablecoin on the XRP ledger, the first major blockchain to be carbon neutral, using its native digital asset XRP, which was purpose-built for payments and doesn't require mining, to provide a fast, low-cost, sustainable solution that's better for businesses, consumers, and the environment, which is great to see. I think that this is, a great correction. A lot of people have been kind of wondering how XRP will be utilized at all within these. Like, for example, we do see like not using XRP. Like, a lot of people don't understand how XRP will be utilized within, a private ledger or even a public ledger basis. And it's very simple, right? I have this document over here. This is from the parliament.uk website. This was an inquiry around CBDCs within the UK and how a digital pound would basically look. And Ripple broke down a few things around this, but the first major thing that I noticed within this entire document was at the end here. And this is from October of 2021, so it's fairly still up to date. And that is a public-private approach is needed to ensure maximum utility of any CBDC issued. So if they want to have the maximum utility of a CBDC, they believe that private sector solutions, such as the use of a neutral bridge assets like XRP, supported by software solutions like the CBDC private ledger, could have an important role to play in supporting healthy liquidity markets that allow for frictionless and cost-effective value movement between new forms of digital money in real time, enabling the exchange of less liquid digital money pairs and increasing competition by lowering entry barriers to new and smaller market participants. An open platform approach that brings together expertise and investment from different stakeholders, including private sector firms, governments, and academia, provides the best opportunity to build value-adding services without friction from intermediaries. So their idea is to still position XRP like the original use case even suggested as a bridge asset. And this will ultimately support healthy liquidity. So that liquidity will be sourced. We will also see frictionless and cost-effective value movement, aka transactions. We will also see real-time money settlement, enabling the exchange of less liquid digital money pairs and increasing competition by lowering entry barriers to new and smaller market participants. So this is huge, right? And again, this proves that like XRP will be utilized along the way. And also, Ripple just recently released this on May 8th, the future of central bank digital currency. This is from James Wallace, which I told you guys to keep a close eye on James Wallace. He's a key player around CBDCs. And we do see, as 2023 unfolds, the future of digital currencies backed by central banks is accelerating. According to a new report from Juniper Research, the global value of central bank digital currencies will grow dramatically from $100 million to $213 billion by 2030. And I think that a lot of people said like, this is a small, valuation. I think that this could very well be larger, but we don't know, right? Like, we have no idea on how fast CBDCs will be adopted and utilized. So this kind of seems as though it's a little bit realistic. Why is this high growth in CBDC adoption and use expected? Quite simply because CBDCs offer reliable sources of digital currency backed by central banks for consumers, businesses, and governments. Now, I said it many times in the past, I don't really like CBDCs all that much. I put out a tweet actually asking what people think about CBDCs here. I said, like, how do you feel about CBDCs? A lot of people have their own ideas around this. In my opinion, I think that this is going to be inevitable. A lot of people also think that CBDCs are full-on control of your everyday life. You got to remember that CBDCs, like, this is no different than, you know, money today. Like, money controls everything. Society is controlled by money the way it is. Also, look at like technology. Look at your device. You know, phones are controlling society more than ever before today. You know, I go out to eat and, you know, most people can't even put their phone down to enjoy an evening with loved ones. So, you know, to me personally, I think that there's a lot of control out there outside of even money itself. But I do understand the concerns here. I have my own concerns around CBDCs myself. But I do think that private technology like what Ripple is providing here is crucial to have privacy retained and also make sure and ensure that the retail sector is protected away, against, you know, this overreach of control. But we do see, although there are ongoing debates around digital currency privacy and fear of government overreach, like I said, the regulation and adoption of CBDCs and stablecoins continues to accelerate. And here are their examples of key central banks planning CBDC initiatives. A lot of these are also working with Ripple. We do see in Brazil, the central bank is ready and plans to launch a CBDC in 2024. We know that Ripple has made a very large amount of noise in Brazil. The Central Bank of Montenegro recently announced a pilot project for CBDC with Ripple. The Bank of England seems to be moving forward with the work on a digital pound, as evidenced by job postings with CBDC-related titles posted on the bank's website. Also, you got to remember that, you know, Ripple has been, you know, providing insights within the UK for so long around CBDCs, and also even mentioned how they could provide a real-time gross settlement system very similar to the RTGS system that's over there, or at least upgrade and allow for the RTGS system to be a lot more efficient through the use of Ripple solutions with XRP, which could very well be large for XRP's value as well as adoption. The Digital Currency Monetary Authority has announced the Universal Monetary Unit, which I've seen a lot of people thinking that this was going to replace XRP, and I even said, like, this is nonsense. Designed to accelerate cross-border transactions. The EU Parliament recently endorsed the first EU rules to trace crypto asset transfers, prevent money laundering, as well as common rules on supervision and consumer protection. The new rules provide a uniform legal framework for crypto assets markets in the EU. And also remember, like, a lot of transactions, even within crypto, can be tracked and traced. Zach XBT, pretty sure that's his @name. He's been tracking and tracing a lot of scams within crypto for so long, and, you know, I congratulate him because he's been doing incredible work on that. And it just kind of shows you how, you know, easy it can be tracked and traced. And a lot of those individuals can also be tracked and traced back to, you know, who is the one scamming as well, which is incredible. And we do see the future of money is digital. These facts demonstrate that the time is now for the advent of digital currencies backed by central banks. Because CBDCs can be managed, monitored, controlled, and redeemed as needed by central banks, the implementation of these digital assets merits pilots and testing to establish trust and reliability. Ripple CBDC solutions offer a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and redeeming CBDCs that meets the high security standards of central banks. Ripple is currently engaged in CBDC and stablecoin pilots with the Republic of Palau, Central Bank of Montenegro, and the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan. And you know what's crazy about all of this is that, like, you actually go and look at the CBDC solutions under their website. I said it many times. I know that I kind of sound like a broken record. I get it. I understand that. But going back to this UK Parliament, you know, PDF file, going all the way back down here, and this use case that they're mentioning around XRP, this video 3/4 in is literally stating the same exact thing here, meaning today, more than ever, they are still planning a future where XRP is crucial to their CBDC infrastructure. And I do think that Ripple is being, you know, a major player around CBDCs, and they are going to continue to become a major player around CBDCs as they continue to gain dominance over the institutional space and as they do continue to work with central banks. Remember that Brad Garlinghouse literally met with Christine Lagarde, who is working at the ECB. There's been a lot of other meetings within them as well. The IMF. Ripple has been very tight with the IMF for so long. The IMF even mentions Ripple many times within a lot of their CBDC studies and, you know, documents. Also, the World Bank mentions XRP and XLM, as well as the initiatives taken by Ripple and Stellar. I mean, to me personally, I have zero doubt about Ripple, and I have zero doubt about XRP in the future as well. It's the number one reason why I stack XRP. It's the number one reason why I personally love XRP. And all of these developments that we are seeing kind of solidifies, where we are at today more than ever before. And yes, I get it. This case is crucial. I get it. Everyone is focused on this case, but I just cannot, I can't be asked to focus on this case 24/7 when there's so much more happening outside of this case. And Ripple continues to become a dominant force outside of the US nonetheless. So when this case does eventually end, and if it ever ends, who knows, right? By that time, Ripple will already become a giant overseas. So and also remember, like, this case to me has always been noise and a major distraction for the retail sector to not focus on what Ripple is actually doing with XRP. To me, I think that Ripple is already working with a lot of the US-based infrastructure giants like the Fed. And I even talked a little bit about how I think that this case was utilized to pump the brakes a little bit so that the institutions and the banks and all of them can kind of catch up to this technology. And I think that that's what we're kind of seeing with the Fed Now service. I think that that is a big step for the US to kind of, usher in a digital infrastructure around payments and payment technology. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It says that you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.